안녕 with a smile, it's Cat Style. 안녕하세요 여러분. 저는 FunPik PD Katrina입니다. Wow! Back at it again with another Korean language video where we can learn Korean culture, Korean expressions, and new words. If you have been on my channel, I actually started as a Hallyu content creator through Korea travel vlogs, tried mukbang, and various entertainment that unlocked my infinite alter egos, including this one. But then again, at times like this, I do miss traveling. Especially I still have that mindset that I have a lot to discover in the land of the morning calm, Korea. And I'm sure my dear subscribers Neom could relate and miss my contents on that. So, although I am not a Korean Sonseng Neem, here I am just sharing again my experience. As you have read on the title, I have prepared 7 Korean scenarios that we are going to explore on must-know Korean phrases for Korea travel when we can travel again. Let's revisit some of my fun memories and encounters in 2019. There is a saying that first impression lasts. And for this, I'm sure you know. You want to make a great impression on people you'll meet in Korea. The taxi drivers, the bus drivers, or random people on the streets of Korea. That's how friendly you are. You can say hello in 3 different speech levels. I'm on the next level that you can honestly learn more from other reliable resources. But to give you guys a glimpse of it, that's 안녕, 안녕하세요, 안녕하십니까. So that's the 3 expressions you can easily say, and I'm sure one of the few phrases you've learned when you got interested in Korean. And to add more depth into this expression, did you know that 안녕 actually refers to being, peace, and health? So when you say 안녕하세요, you're actually also saying, did you find peace? Or generally, to be well. But don't confuse it with using 안녕 as peace in Korean sentences, since this meaning is rooted from Hanja. They actually have another term for peace, that is 평화, which is more used in modern vocabulary in Korea. Other than this, another expression that you'd like to know is how to greet good morning, and that is 좋은 아침이에요. 좋은 아침이에요. 좋은 아침이에요. But the question is, how would you move forward? I don't know if it's just me or it's just common for language learners to be like this. I sometimes run through simulations in my head on how a conversation would flow and how I can make it flow. In Korea, it is actually fine to ask someone's age if you have met, especially when you think that person is around your age or younger. As we know, there's also a hierarchy in ways on how we address someone in Korea. So to ask for someone's age politely is also respectful, and you could say 1. 몇 살이에요? 몇 살이에요? 2. 나이가 어떻게 되세요? 나이가 어떻게 되세요? In case you are in a formal setting and you're talking to people who are older than you, you can say 3. 연세가 어떻게 되십니까? 연세가 어떻게 되십니까? Wow! Next level. When in Korea, you can forget about 𝗙𝗂𝗄𝗆. Introduction. If you have an opportunity to finally use your Korean words or phrases and introduce yourself nicely, then by all means, take that chance, take that opportunity. Yes! First, you have to say your name. 안녕하세요. 저는 카트리나입니다. Second is to say your age. 저는 22살이에요. Third is maybe to say something interesting, something you like, or something you currently do. 요즘 한국말 배워요. 왜냐하면 한국계 대학원에서 공부하고 싶기 때문입니다. 그리고 한국 음식 좋아요. And of course, don't forget to end it with a beautiful 만나서 반갑습니다. Along with 𝗪𝗵𝗁, since I am a foreigner, there were usual instances in Korea when Koreans ask who I am and what's my purpose of travel. Sometimes it goes like this. 어디에서 왔어요? 저는 필리핀 사람이에요. 필리핀에서 왔어요. 그래요? 이름이 뭐예요? 제 이름은 카트리나입니다. 카트리나예요. 예쁘네요. 반갑습니다. 방문한 이유는 뭐예요? 그냥 친구들과 여행 왔어요. 와, 한국말 진짜 잘해요. 네. 진짜요? 그럼 한국말은 어디에서 배웠어요?
저는 새로운 언어를 배우는 것이 어렵지만 당신에게 좋은 것이라고 생각합니다. 당신은 이미 한국어를 잘합니다. 그건 그렇고 1층에 좋은 커피숍이 있어요. 친구들과 함께 그곳을 방문하세요.
그건 아닌데. 아니에요. 한국말을 조금 할 수 있어요. 어쨌든 감사합니다. 괜찮아요. 언젠가는 배울 거예요. And other phrases you might want to know are 천천히 말해주세요. 천천히 말해주세요. And 적어주세요. 적어주세요. One of the advice I want to give you is to memorize also and learn how to read Korean and numbers in Korean, because there are instances that the 𝗫𝗏𝗀 you chose only has Hangul. To tell you the truth, singing in 𝗫𝗏𝗀 or karaoke versions of a song help me in the pace on how I read Korean sentences. If you're in a 𝗫𝗏𝗀, there's a big remote where you can select songs, but there are times if you really need help, you can say to the staff, 저기요, 필요해요. 혹시 한국 노래를 어떻게 찾죠? Or, 저기요, 다른 리모컨이 있어요? 이거 작동되지 않습니다. On another situation, if you are in a group and you're still out on the streets and exploring the wonderful nightlife in Korea, and you might have passed a nice looking restaurant or 𝗫𝗏𝗀, you can ask the staff there on what time do they close through this phrase. 몇 시에 문 닫아요? 몇 시에 문 닫아요? On a side note, if you're really serious about learning Korean and your situation isn't an urgent matter, I think you should refrain from using papago and instead come up with your own sentences. But if you're like me, who already inhibited that kind of habit, try not to rely on it too much. Besides, there are never dictionaries and other apps that can suggest you with better sample sentences. And of course, you can try learning through the FunPik app. I also think those are better options. Requesting for water or other stuff on a restaurant can also be a point where you need to express yourself in Korean. Likewise, object plus 있어요 is useful for asking something, but you actually don't have to worry if you're in a restaurant because they have a buzzer button for them to attend to your needs. And actually, FunPik has all of these Korean culture facts, so if you don't want to miss those, do follow and like their pages to learn more about these actual lifestyle practices they have in Korea. Down to our fifth scenario. When you're studying a language, for example, numbers, and you don't use it often, it is inevitable to forget about it. However, if you're traveling to Korea, you will definitely encounter prices and money. So when it was the first time I visited Korea, I wasn't able to remember quite vividly all the numbers and how the values of money are formed. I know the difference of baek and 천. However, I forgot about the system. As we've seen from the video, I've asked basic Korean phrases such as 이거 얼마예요? 이거 얼마예요? But now that I've learned more Korean, I could also have said 금방 갔다 올 거예요. 금방 갔다 올 거예요. If I plan to buy those shoes, but I did not buy it anyway. And here's one of my favorite parts when our topic was about directions. When I learned about this, I felt that I can actually use it in real life. Since whenever I'm walking, I can easily remember the phrases and translate it immediately in my head. It actually feels like it's already part of me to say it. And honestly, you really encounter it a lot of times, especially if you're asking or you're the one being asked. These phrases that you should know are 왼쪽 가세요, 오른쪽 가세요, 쭉 가세요. Then there's also 올라가세요, 내려가세요. So keep on memorizing those and maybe have fun playing a mini game with your friends. On another situation, commonly, since you are unfamiliar in the area, you definitely ask about a certain place or a station. And actually, it's easy to ask for directions in Korea, but it's harder to understand how they would explain it to you. And you'd be so lucky if they have free time to actually accompany you towards that place, which happened to me last time. So thank you so much to those 진주한 한국 사람s. When asking directions, you can say 저기요, 압구정역 어디인지 아세요? And you can add 여기에서 멀어요? And you can confirm it further by asking 걸어갈 만한 거리가 아니에요? And if they say it's really far, don't challenge yourself, guys. And just ride a taxi or commute via buses or train. And I'm sure, just like me, if you're a curious cat, you'll have it in you to ask queries on how to say an object or a word in English to Korean. For that, you could say the English word 이가 한국말로 뭐예요? For example, textbook가 한국말로 뭐예요? Library가 한국말로 뭐예요? That's how easy it is to ask for English to Korean words. Make sure to take notes. Lastly, if I'll be back in Korea, this will be in my bucket list. It's regretful that I haven't experienced it, but as I also know, some of the hair salons in Korea are quite expensive. But the results are amazing. For this, I will share some phrases that will be helpful for that to happen. 1. 카트 해주세요. 카트 해주세요. 사진에 있는 사람처럼 머리를 잘라주세요. And that's it for this video. I hope you had a great time revisiting my memories with me and found useful Korean phrases throughout the video. Comment below what's your own experience and your best phrase to use around to survive in Korea or just on your nearby Korean convenience store in your local area. Don't forget to like, subscribe to FunPik and my channel, It's Cat Style, and see you on my next video. Annyeong!